Hello, class. My name is Stevenson Serize. I'm currently taking this course in Austell, Georgia. It's about 20 minutes northwest outside of Atlanta. And the reason why I wanted to take environmental issues is because I always felt like I was drawn towards the environment, and especially when there are videos being created out where it's like, what kind of world do we want to give our children? And I've always been interested in disaster movies and figuring out how to lower pollution and just things of those nature. So I feel like I've always been drawn to environmental issues in some way, shape, or form. And when I saw that WIG had this class, I definitely wanted to take it. It's usually, whenever it's offered in the fall and spring, it's usually full. So I was happy I was able to sign up for it for the summer session. When I was reading the sources under the post, some things that stuck out to me was one of them was it said the top three greenhouse gas emitters is China, the European Union, and the United States. And I think this is really big just because I think it's these three countries or these three areas' jobs to curve their numbers and to essentially start to decrease them, because these three they really have a big impact on the rest of the world. And if these three can curve their numbers and start decreasing it, then that'll make a huge difference compared to the other countries that are even on the list. Another thing that I saw, I said that transportation is the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in the United States, accounting for 37% of total CO2 emissions. And I think compared to other countries, it's interesting that we don't have a transportation, like a public transportation system that takes us from one side of the country to the other. I think there should be a train that takes us from Florida to New York or Florida to Maine. I think there should be one that takes us from California to North Carolina. Something like public transportation that will encourage people to drive cars less, because we're a very car dominant and car dependent country, and I think we should invest more into public transportation, not just in the cities, to encourage less of these emissions. If you have more people taking these shuttles and stuff, you'll have less people driving. Or we should like come up with some type of legislation to decrease the amount of people on the roads or decrease the amount of pollution that these cars create. And then another one was by 2050, dietary changes. In 2050, dietary changes to reduce beef consumption could free up several million square kilometers of land, reducing global CO2 emissions by up to 8 billion tons per year. I wasn't aware that the meat industry caused so much pollution with the methane and the CO2. I didn't realize that. I never took into account the deforestation and all what that does. And I don't see why we have to wait until 2050. I think there should be some type of things in place where it's like either we need to stop cutting down trees to create more space for the meat industry, or we need to find some other method to obtain our meat. I don't think that we should still be cutting down trees if it's hurting us in the long run. I think we just need to pay more attention to the environmental effects that we as a country are doing to hurt the world right now. But I'm looking forward to learning all about different environmental issues and what I can do to help the world out.